Listen, this revelation I'm about to drop is so deep, and I might make a full video, but please listen to this with an open mind because it's going to set some of you free. We as women are being by many of these content creators to be. Let me explain. I used to listen to a lot of this like hypergamy, femininity content online, okay? The sprinkle lady, I knew about her like way before she blew up on TikTok, all right? I was there. I used to listen to her consistently. People like her, I would listen to, okay, she'd talk about the dusties and hypergamy and the kind of men you should be chasing. I used to listen to all of that before I got saved. Now listen, that content was making me so bitter and angry at men. And I had never hated men really like that before. I have had negative experiences with men, but I've never hated or like disliked or been embittered towards men the way that I was in that season. And the reason I became so bitter is because I was taking on their bitterness. Bitterness is contagious, okay? The Bible says that bitterness, when it takes root, actually defiles many people. So let me read you. See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Bitterness is contagious. When you are consistently listening to somebody who hates men or who's constantly calling men dusties, dehumanizing men, you will eventually pick up and take on that mindset. Now, this is why it's important. When you become bitter towards men, when you become desensitized towards the fact that they are human beings and you start to hate them, this is when you start to really listen to the women that tell you to only use men for their money, to, take him for everything he's worth, to not care about love, to not care about any of the things that make a relationship beautiful, but to simply go after the money. And even as I'm saying this, some of you guys are going to feel angry at me. Some of you guys may feel tempted to call me whatever it is, a pick me, or be angry, or rise up in your spirit and say, but what about men? Listen, you are being trained based on what you're consistently feeding your mind to desensitize yourself towards human beings. And because you have that hatred, because you are desensitized, that's when you go out and start to use men like how a prostitute would. What does a prostitute do? A prostitute sells her body in exchange for money, for material gifts. When you are dating a man or with a man, not because you care about him, not because you love him, but simply because of the lifestyle he can provide for you, your heart isn't in it. Your head isn't in it. You are a prostitute. And you are being groomed. We are being groomed. They're attempting to groom us into being prostitutes.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I'm glad to see a lot of women waking up to what the reality is. Men and women, if you consume negative content, negative things, you become what you consume. You are what you eat.
True. That's very true. Yeah, so the sprinkle lady. I'm sure lots of people.
I call no names. I know she's talking about.
I'm sure lots of people know who that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, she does say a lot about men. What are they called? The
women that divest. The
divestors. That's it. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of digestives. But yes.
Obviously, someone's hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of content creators that bash men and say all sorts of crazy things about men.
And in turn, there's also a lot of content creators that bash women. And then those men say, oh, women is this and that. So I get it from both sides. So I understand.
Yeah. So she is right, because a lot of women are being groomed to be prostitutes. We see it everywhere. It's all over social media.
Rap
the
music.
Songs, exactly. It's everywhere. It's actually hard to not see. So yeah, definitely being groomed. I agree with her there. It's a shame, really, but hopefully people wake up from it.